something that I've been noticing is that in my city, there's a lot of very vocal, very loud, white liberal men. And you'll hear them talk all the time about women's equality and gender equality and LGBTQ and all of these things, and they're constantly like very vocal advocates for this. More often than not, you're going to hear them say, oh yeah, I'm looking for my best friend, I'm looking for a 50-50 relationship, I want an equal partner. None of those things are inherently bad, but oftentimes it means that they are not wanting to add to your life. Stay with me. What it really means to them, what 50-50 means to them, is like splitting life 50-50. Doing life 50-50, sharing the load 50-50. But what they fail to recognize, even though they understand logically that they have a lot of privilege and we live in a world where I have less privilege, they don't think that it's actually 30-70. They think that 50-50 will get them an equal partner, but really what they're going to have to do is come alongside of me, especially as a woman of color. You're going to have to come alongside me and make sure I can get that 20%. So what does that look like? I think it depends on every couple, but like, it's not a 50-50 out the gate. It's a 70-30. How are we going to like resolve this? And I don't think a lot of white liberal men are ready to talk about it. If he does not understand that we are automatically not 50-50, he is going to run with it. And eventually, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years down the road, you're going to be pulling most of the weight for him. Because if he doesn't understand fundamentally that we're not starting at the same starting point, then it's going to be rough.
Yo, feminism and equality and diversity, equity, and inclusion has struck again, even when it comes to relationships. Have you heard that? Y'all, I'm telling y'all might as well stop simping. Guys might as well stop simping and stop trying to act like you really do want a partner, because even in a situation where women are advocating for equal, and even in a situation where you would give her an opportunity to be equal, because let's be clear, none of them want equal. None of them. None of them want to be looked at as your equal. Even in a situation where you have these extreme liberal feminists and they identify you as a white liberal man, they still throw these attacks on you where they automatically assume that you have privilege. And so what that means is that they're supposed to get a leg up on you if they decide to get into a relationship with you, and it is going to red pill you as fast as fuck once you realize that the sexual marketplace is still operating the exact same way that we said that it was. You are going to become a target, boy, and you don't even realize it. And so, first of all, we all know that liberal white guys, most of the time, are nothing more, in my opinion, than white apologists. They are the people that are looking to try to dirty Mac. They looking to try to dirty Mac and get into a woman's pants by trying to pretend like they really care for liberal rights, like they care for feminism and equal for all. Think about this for a second, ladies, before you decide to go ahead and just get yourself into a relationship with a man that can't do anything with you or for you, and they tend to be broke and poor, okay? They are artists, they are artisans, they are Starbucks baristas, they work at your local coffee shop. They often at times want to get matching tattoos and wear same colors, and they shop at the vintage stores, which is basically the secondhand store, and they cannot do anything for you. This is, in most instances, not all, but in most instances, the identity of a liberal white apologist, feminist man, liberal arts, African American studies. I'm going to be the only person to go to a HBCU white man. Okay. So let's be very clear about that. The second thing is, even with you dirty Mac and to try to do all of this just to get in their pants instead of just being authentically you, the man that you're supposed to be, you're still going to be held to the same standard, and you're going to be looked at as the enemy. Like I said, white men, liberal white men, conservative white men are the ones that they look at as evil, and they look at them as the poster child for what's wrong with America. And so just because you think that you switched your political party and you're out there and you're bisexual and you're dancing with the devil and you're doing all of this other nonsense, for some reason you think that they're going to place you in a different category of man because you have privilege, and you have to understand that we're not starting at the same starting point. Don't matter how much money you make, don't matter what the position is that you're in, don't matter what none of that is. If you are not a strong man, no matter what they say, no matter how they rock with it, because at the end of the day, you're just dirty macking, and they still gonna go home to the dude that think just like the rest of us, and they gonna bust it down for a real one. So just because y'all poor and you living in abandoned houses and squatting together and you're fighting for equal rights and housing privileges and for subsidized rent, for rent shortages and stoppages and all of this other nonsense, and you're voting for Mom Donnie Zoran, and just because you're doing all of that, don't mean that they're not going to try to use the tricks of the devil to try to equalize the playing field, when in reality they're just trying to get a leg up on you and trying to get you to operate like a traditional conservative man to take care of them, and they're going to frame it in a way to which they say, but you still have privilege. So it's really going to be 70-30, 80-20, 90-10, 100-0. And when I get pregnant, I still want to be with a conservative person with traditional family values. I just want to have some say so inside of the household. That is what your future looks like, and it is ripe with the divorce and TikTok story times about how it is that you're a piece of shit, then you just like every other man until you come over here to the dark side, in which that's what they identify it as. We identify it as the light side, until you come over here and you start acting like the man that you're supposed to be. That is the reality. And if you cannot figure that out, boy, you are in trouble. You are in trouble. They have identified you as everything but the person that you're supposed to be. They called you liberal. They called you white, right? They start identifying things that you can't even control. And just because you identify as, I've even seen videos of women on here that says, be careful, be careful of dating men that are Trump supporters. And if you run into a man and he won't tell you who he voted for, you know that he's a fascist and that he's a racist and he's also a Trump supporter, but beware of him. And then in the same breath, I've seen some of their comrades say, you know what? I don't want to deal with a man that's going 50-50. I want a man that's 100-0. While at the same time voting for Kamala Harris on the on the ballot. And so listen, at some point, big dog, you're gonna have to pick a side. You're gonna have to pick your poison. You can't play both, because they gonna play you like you playing both. You can't play both. You have to lean into your masculinity and drop the charades, drop the BS, and come on over to the great side so that you can win. And you too can be a winner, sir. If you get your balls out and you start to drop your nut sacks instead of wearing your girlfriend's panties and heels and trying to act like you're so liberal and open to anything, and I'm a paleontologist and I'm pansexual and all of this other bullshit that you got going on, bro. It ain't worth it, man. So drop your balls, get some, backbone and stand up for yourself. You don't have to continue to be no sucker and get taken advantage of by these women. Listen, I love you. I appreciate you. Always gonna give credit to the content creator, regardless of whether or not I agree with them or not. And I think that she's a class act in her ability to be able to finesse men out of their bag, despite the fact that they say that they want equal. Listen, Patreon, link is in the description. Teach Hanley 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. Don't get finessed, fellas.